Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 93 based on novel. So let's start. I believe everyone has been waiting for a long time, right? With the approval of our Xianling royal family appraisal group and the owner of the three-flowered pupil of the blue snake, the final auction winner is the person who bid for the pair of yin and yang hearts. A piece of white paper quietly appeared in Xue Qiangwei's hand, with a few words on it. Small print appears. I never imagined that the Do-Di pill's prescriptions were all compared. It can't be said that the Do-Di pill's prescription is to develop the younger generation, and this double-patterned yin-yang heart is high-end combat power. If it were me, I would probably choose this double-patterned yin and yang heart. The sound of the private room is also constantly coming out. There are also a lot of strong people in this auction. I'm afraid that this kind of thing will not know who will end up in the end. Zhu Lao also smiled. Obviously he also had the answer in his heart. The girl was photographed by the person in the number 7 private room. As for the yin and yang heart, it should have been taken by the owner of this furnace. Uncle, how do you say this? Mu Feng also asked in doubt. In the Xianling royal family and Xianling city, it is forbidden to fight openly and secretly. It's just outside the scope of the two, the Xianling royal family will not care. That will be the climax of this auction. After all, many forces have already ambushed many powerful people outside Xianling city. Elder Zhu also said slowly. That's really a bit difficult. Xiao Yan shrugged when he heard the words, then stopped talking, and turned to look at the blood roses in the field. Next is the highlight of this auction. Everyone, please look at the crystal platform. After Blood Rose finished speaking, a round platform suddenly protruded from the ground above the dazzling crystal platform. The diameter of the round platform is about 10 feet in size, and the whole body is silver. At first glance, it can be seen that it is made of special metal. As for the top of the round platform, there is a white Do-Chi light shield. Something to cover up. It's just that everyone can feel an extremely strong energy from the Do-Chi light shield. Such a terrifying Do-Chi light shield. I am afraid that it is an 8-star Do Emperor level powerhouse, and it cannot be destroyed in a short time. What is this? It is so precious to protect. Some thoughts also emerged in everyone's mind. The next moment, as the white mist on the crystal platform slowly disappeared, the silver metal round platform also showed its true colors. Beneath the Do-Chi light shield is a lifelike fiery red elixir the size of a longan. The elixir is extremely ruddy, and at first glance it is not of ordinary quality. Around the fiery red elixir, there is a lively miniature dragon inhabiting it. It looks like it is really ordinary. This is Hualin Dan. Xue Qiangwei also smiled slightly, and then her slender eyelashes moved, and a very sweet voice echoed throughout the auction hall. Hualin Dan. It's actually this kind of thing. There were some extremely surprised voices in many private rooms. What is Fire Lin Dan? Mu Yingying also found out. Since the Blood Rose said this Fire Lin Dan, the atmosphere of the entire auction hall has become extremely hot. Its popularity is even more popular than the previous 3-flowered eyes and double-patterned yin-yang heart. It's actually a fire pill. Hualin Dan, a special kind of medicinal pill. The function of this medicinal pill is to let people have the medicinal pill to advance to the current barrier, and the most useful one is probably when breaking through the Battle of Immortals. This fire unicorn pill can not only greatly increase the success rate when breaking through the peak of Do-Di, but also after the breakthrough, there is a slight chance to summon the ancient unicorn fighting spirit. If you are lucky, if you conquer this ancient unicorn will become the fighting spirit after you are promoted to Do Xian, then its strength will also increase exponentially. If the double-patterned yin-yang heart, just now, is a magical medicine to break through the perfection level of the 8-star Do Di, this fire Qilin pill is a magical medicine that can break through the peak of Do Di and can even lead to the ancient Qilin. Xiao Yang, it is also a little bit greedy. Obviously, the effect of this fire unicorn pill, even him, is all tempted. Shabu shabu. With the appearance of this medicinal pill, an extremely huge scene appeared on the crystal stage of the entire auction hall in an instant. Or? A low voice came directly from the Do Chi light shield above the crystal platform, and then there was another scene on the entire crystal platform. At this time, on the crystal platform, there were dense dark clouds, and lightning flashed constantly. A milky white unicorn was also slowly lurking, and a very strong danxiang also emanated from the milky white unicorn. The milky white unicorn raised its head and collided directly against the cloudy sky, and then the power of the two suddenly exploded. Countless Dan rains also fell down, and bursts of invigorating Dan Xiong also permeated the entire auction hall from the crystal platform. Just now, that was the spirit of medicinal pills. This fire Qi Dan is worthy of being a second-grade Emperor rank Earth pill, and it actually possesses such a high level of intelligence. The scene just now, obviously this Huachidan did it on purpose, to compete with the sky. Such a terrifying medicinal pill. There was an instant commotion in the entire auction house, and some of them were quite discerning people, who also recognized the situation just now. That's it. Master, she doesn't have much time in the old man's house. We must get this medicine pill so that she can break through the current ban. Otherwise, the master will also. The two women of Poison sect also stared at the fire Qi pill with beautiful eyes, and then Bei's lips parted slightly. Although this thing is good Tilda, we should not touch it. Let's go, third prince, we have nothing to do here. In the private room number 1, an old man also said slowly. En. Xuanmu also responded, and then left the private room directly. The residual picture he took will be delivered to him afterwards. This thing. Inside the private room of the Blood Blade mercenary group, the female leader and the man with scars also spoke slowly. This thing is still too reluctant for us now. Forget it. The person who convened our Blood Blade mercenary group is contacting that Xiao Yang, get ready to go. The female leader also said slowly. Yes, head. After the scarred man finished speaking, he also left the private room and went out to run errands. Huokiden. Compared with the thing in the desert, it's not worth mentioning. But is there really such a thing as holy flames in the desert? After the woman finished speaking, she also stared at the auction center. If this thing is photographed, I'm afraid the door owner will be very happy. In a certain private room, there are 3 figures in cloaks. 2 tall and 1 short. They were the 3 people Solomon sent to encircle Zhu Jin. It's just that the 3 people at this time did not know that Zhu Jin had already set foot on the level of a half-immortal. Otherwise, a 9-star Do Emperor level powerhouse, and 2 8-star Do Emperor level powerhouses, would give them 100 courage is not dare. This fire unicorn pill is not easy to get. Among Solomon's 3 strong men, the short figure in the middle also said, but there was some evil feeling in his voice. Solomon's 3 powerhouses, the strongest is Liu Quan, who has already set foot on the 9-star Do Emperor level, but doesn't know how many rank he has entered. Song Li, a middle-stage 8-star Do Emperor, and Yang, a late-stage 8-star Do Emperor. Dimension. After Liu Quan finished speaking, the 2 figures beside him obviously nodded, but the next moment, Song Li also said, 3 sect masters, although this thing is not easy to get, but we can. After finishing speaking, he also stroked his neck. 1 time. Ha ha. Liu Quan nodded with satisfaction. Their lineup, no matter where they are placed, can be walked sideways, so they are not too worried, because most of the people who came to participate in the auction this time are only some 7-star or 8-star fighting emperor level powerhouses, is not a big threat to them. But don't take it lightly. Don't forget that killing Zhu Jin is our business. After Liu Quan finished speaking, he also stared at the medicinal pill on the crystal platform, and a greedy aura emerged. Father, if we get this thing, it can be said to our Sun family. Sun Xiong also said with hot eyes. Forget it, this thing is not something we can interfere with, and although our Sun family is good in all aspects, there is no powerhouse at the peak of Do Di. This is also the most worrying. Although this fire Chadan is extremely terrifying, it must have that life to enjoy. Alas! Sun Xiong could only helplessly sigh. In the number 7 private room, the 2 people in this room were the same people who had previously photographed the 3 flowered pupils of the furnace. They are members of the Wan Po sect, and they belong to the poison sect, but they have always been suppressed by the poison sect. Young Master Po, the genius of the Wan Po sect, is now a mid-stage 6-star Do Emperor powerhouse. As for this old man, outsiders often call him Poison Old Monster, and he is also a terrifying powerhouse of the 8-star Do Emperor perfection level. Elder Du, this thing. Young Master Du also asked slowly. Let's see if we can get this thing. The old man also said with a fiery gaze. Master, do we want this thing? In a private room, Tu Ling also said slightly solemnly. Patriarch is currently retreating and attacking Do Xian, if there is such a thing. The Soil Walker also smiled, but the implication was very obvious. In addition, some forces are also bound to win this fire Chadan. Let's get started. Some noisy voices came directly from the private room. Hee, since everyone can't wait so much, let's get started. But before the auction starts, Blood Rose has to remind everyone that everyone knows the preciousness of this fire Chadan, but since the auctioneer can come up with this kind of thing, then the strength behind it is not weak. Everyone should think about it clearly. Blood Rose also said slightly. As the Blood Rose's words fell, some people around suddenly realized something, but the enthusiasm for this fire Chadan did not weaken in the slightest. Because the preciousness of fire Chadan can no longer be measured by pure gold coins, the auction rules for this fire Chadan are the same as those of the Jade Snake 3-flower pupils just now. Everyone, please increase the price. However, if you shoot this thing, then you have to agree to a condition for the shooter, and this condition will be within your tolerance. Xue Qiangwei also moved her lips slightly, which was extremely attractive. The value of this thing. I'm afraid I won't be able to auction off all my belongings now. Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly after hearing this. Hee, you little guys. This time is just to open your eyes. We have nothing to do here, let's go. After Zhu Lao finished speaking, he also got up and prepared to leave. Xiao Yang, that girl with 3 flower pupils in the furnace is so pitiful. Mu Yingying has never had any abnormality, because of the items in this auction, only the girl with 3 flowers in the furnace made her quite uneasy. Lost. Don't worry, Elder Zhu is here. Xiao Yang also comforted. With the voice, the group of 4 also slowly left the private room. The auction went on for a long time, and in the end, the highlight of the fire Chadan was auctioned off by the poison sect at an extremely expensive price. At this point, the auction was over. In this auction, both the 9-yin demon worm and the fire Chadan were taken by people from the poison sect. As for the mysterious residual picture, it was taken by Xuanmu, the 3rd prince of the Xianling royal family, who owns the 3-flowered cauldron. The girl was photographed by the 10,000 poison sect. As for some other medicinal materials and medicinal herbs, they were also auctioned off one after another, but they were nothing compared to these. Elder Zhu, what should we do now? In a certain inn, Elder Zhu slowly closed his eyes and sat down, then Xiao Yang, Mu Yingying and Mu Feng also stood beside him. Ha ha, this kind of expensive thing must be treated extremely solemnly. So the beasting news I got, the people of the poison sect and the 10,000 poison sect will come out overnight tonight. It's just that it's not just us who are interested in this fire Chidan, the Danwang Chenshin in the Pill Valley, the Tu Jia Soil Walker, and even the members of the Xianling royal family are all ready to intervene. Old Zhu's voice was also slow. Since that's the case, it's not too late, we should start right away. Mu Feng, who was on the side, heard the words and said, because he also knew the mysterious effect of this fire unicorn pill. Compared with the two pattern yin and yang heart, it was no different from this fire unicorn pill. Even more fascinating. Hee, don't worry, we still have to wait for a few more people. Elder Zhu also said indifferently. Wait for someone. Xiao Yang heard the words, and also felt that a rather familiar aura seemed to be flying from not far away. It seems to be. Xiao Yang also seemed to have discovered something. Big brother. A happy voice also appeared at the door of the room. Xiao Yi. Hearing this, Xiao Yang also blurted out suddenly. Because it is exactly the same as the milky white flame in Xiao Yang's body, I am afraid that Xiao Yi is the only one in other places and the world. At this time, Xiao Yi was covered in white clothes, and the white clothes set off her enchanting figure, and Xiao Yang also seemed to have noticed that Xiao Yi's aura had also changed a bit. During the days when you were gone, eldest brother, under the guidance of the Deputy Hall Master Mu Shuzi, I also broke through to the level of perfection of the 7-star Do Emperor. Although Xiao Yi looked quite handsome, in front of Xiao Yang, he scratched his head and laughed. Ha ha, that's fine. Xiao Yang was also proud of Xiao Yi's rapid strength. Ha ha, since this kid entered my burning incense pavilion, I just felt it, the identity of the fire elf. So there's no need to bury him. Zhu Lao's voice also said slowly, obviously even though he knew the identity of this Xiao Yi, he didn't have any other thoughts. Well, don't forget me. A very dissatisfied snarl also appeared, and everyone looked for the voice, and it was the green flute. Since the 5 of you are here, then I'll give you your first mission, attack the desert. Xiao Yang, you are fully responsible. 5 people go out, if there is any one missing when they come back, I will ask you. Zhu Lao's voice also broke through, and then he said to Xiao Yang. Yes, Elder Zhu. Xiao Yang also responded, and then his eyes became hot. However, before you go to practice, you must participate in tonight's action. One is to see your teamwork, and the other is to compete for these important things this time, whether it's Huchidan or looting Sanhuatong. Leave Xianling City in a while, you all go directly to that forest, and I will go to other places. No matter what the result is, when you go this time, go straight to the desert to practice, and then return to the burning incense pavilion. Remember, life is important. After Zhu Lao finished speaking, he moved his fingers slightly, and then looked straight ahead. The next moment, a few dark clothes appeared on the palm of his hand. Without hesitation, Zhu Lao picked it up and put it on his body. Up, covering the whole body. When Xiao Yang and the others heard the words, they acted accordingly. At this time, the strength of Xiao Yang's 5-member team is also quite terrifying. Xiao Yang, the 4-star Do D perfection level. Mu Feng, the early stage of the 5-star Do D. Mu Yingying, the middle stage of the 5-star Do Emperor. Green Flute, the middle stage of the 5-star Do D. Xiao Yi, the 7-star Do Emperor is complete. As for Xiao Yi's strength, apart from Xiao Yang, the other 3 didn't feel any surprise. After all, when they participated in the points-grabbing competition, they were very clear about Xiao Yi's strength. Let's go. Seeing that everyone was ready, Zhu Lao immediately hid his figure and walked out of Xianling City. The group of 6 also gradually hid in the darkness, but Green Flute's lips moved slightly, as if worried about something. Outside Xianling City, inside the Xianling Imperial House, there are as many as 11 people. These 11 people who exist are undoubtedly extremely terrifying. Even the men in black who encircled and suppressed Xiao Yang in the 9-fish opera dragon formation were there, including King Xianling. This time, only success is allowed, not failure. King Xianling stared into the distance and muttered. But, that furnace Ding San Huatong aside, that fire Qi Dan is. An old man among them said quite reluctantly, the effect of this fire Qi Dan is extremely terrifying. Others have to go, too. Susu, if the fire Chidan is really as magical as a teleportation, how could that person be willing to auction it? King Xianling also laughed, obviously as the ruler of the royal family of Xianling, these things have already been figured out. In that case, let's go. The snake people in the depths of the lonely desert of death have not fought against their strong men for a long time. The old man in the first place also had white hair, and then slowly spoke, with an undisguised confidence in his voice. Let's go. The Xianling king heard the words, and also clicked the point. If this operation did not have the support of the head of the dragon-loving legion in front of him, I am afraid it would be extremely difficult to succeed. As soon as the words fell, a group of 11 people also slowly stood on top of a teleportation formation, and then quietly left the interior of Xianling Imperial Palace. When Du appeared, they were already outside Xianling City. Set off. Target, the temple in the depths of the lonely desert of death. King Xianling said, and then opened the way directly ahead. With the disappearance of the 11 people in this group, another battle outside Xianling City was about to start. Outside Xianling City, there is a large area of virgin forests, grasses and lakes. Master, will the people of the poison sect really leave here overnight? It's really not wise to be so blatant. Above a towering tree, 2 dark figures appeared slowly. The auras of the 2 are extremely hidden, and if you don't observe them carefully, it may be extremely difficult to find them. Both of them are from the 10,000 poison religion from the wild land. They are Poison Fang, the godson of the 10,000 poison religion, a 6-star fighting emperor level character. An 8-star fighting emperor level powerhouse. Not sure. However, the 2 little dolls of the poison sect have photographed such important things, so they must find ways to leave the Xianling royal family, so the sooner the better. And I seem to have other news that these 2 little dolls have already sent the news back to the poison sect, and if the old monster from the poison sect arrives. The old poisonous monster's voice was extremely strange, and there seemed to be something squirming in the skin all over his body, which was very disgusting. Damn it. I really don't know what the astronomical price was paid by the people of this poison sect, but they would actually shoot this fire Chidan. Poison Fang also snorted coldly, and then glanced at the woman behind him. At this time, the woman behind him is the 3 flower pupils of the furnace cauldron bought by the Wanpa sect at this auction. At this time, the little girl has already fallen asleep, but her fangs are clear. In the future, if this cauldron grows up, the identity and status of this little girl will undergo earth-shaking changes. But in the end, it is inevitable to enter in your own mouth. After thinking about it, Fang Fang laughed, as if everything was in his own calculations. Be careful, someone is coming. Seemingly aware of Poison Fang's strange smile, the poisonous old monster also whispered. After all, this Fang is the son of the leader of the 10,000 poison sect, and even if he has many dissatisfaction with him, he can only protect his safety. Well? Hearing this, Fang Fang lowered his head slightly, and then looked at the person under the towering tree. It was a young woman with very light footsteps, as if she was afraid of making a sound, turning her head from time to time to observe the surroundings, but her expression was flustered. Is this the person from the poison sect? In another place, under a huge rock, 5 dark figures also inhabited here. Taking a closer look, these 5 people are Xiao Yang's 5 people. Xiao Yang and Zhu Lao also separated when they left the Xianling city. After separation, Xiao Yang and a few people slowly used their soul power to isolate all the forces of exploration, and then slowly lurked in this forest. Middle. This is. Hearing the words, Xiao Yang also cast his gaze slowly, but now Xiao Yang did not rashly use his soul power or spiritual power, because he didn't know some of the methods of this poison sect woman, so he used it rashly. Possibly stunned. Why does this woman give me an illusory feeling? It seems that the fighting spirit in this woman is not quite right. Xiao Yang also said slightly. Could it be that it was because of their cultivation of poison attribute fighting qi? Mu Feng, who was beside him, said softly. Poison-type grudge, it won't look like this. Green Flute's beautiful eyes wrinkled slightly, and then she said. It seems a bit like the fluctuation of the Emperor's soul clone. Good guy. At the next moment, Xiao Yang's pupils suddenly lit up. The soul power of the Emperor level, except for the alchemist. I am afraid that many powerhouses of the same level are only some soul power of the heaven level. This woman is definitely not easy. This is Xiao Yang's first evaluation of this poison sect woman. Do you want to do it now? Xiao Yi also said softly, for fear of scaring the snake. When I just came in here, I found that besides us, there seems to be some other aura here, so let's wait for it to happen. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, his eyes became funny. In that breath, it seems a bit like the smell of the legendary green snake with 3 flower pupils. Green Flute said incredulously after sensing it. We absolutely cannot let that girl fall into the hands of other bad guys. Mu Yingying also came in with a flower arrangement. Master, there seems to be no one else here. The opportunity is fleeting. Do it. Poison Fang also said decisively after sensing the surroundings. Take this old bone of mine as a coolie again. After the poisonous old monster finished speaking, some black bugs were squirming around, and then disappeared into the tree in an instant. When he appeared the next moment, he also fell in front of the poisonous sect woman. Damn it. When I was in the auction, I vaguely felt that it was you, but I didn't expect that it was really you from the Wanpa sect. The barefooted woman also moved her lips slightly. People from the poison sect. Although the overall strength of the poison sect is stronger than our 10,000 poison sect, you are the only one here. Our Huachidan and Join demon insect on you. Hand over it as soon as possible to avoid suffering some flesh and blood. The poisonous old monster also appeared directly on the path in the middle of the forest, blocking the barefoot woman's way. I don't have those things on me. The barefoot woman also smiled slightly. But your Wanpa religion is really brave. If our sect master knows about this, then when our sect master arrives, your Po religion can't bear the anger of our sect master. The unpredictable old man didn't look flustered at all, and then Maimu looked around slightly, obviously thinking about something. The place where the two of them are located is a dense forest outside Xianling city. The vegetation is lush, and there are many trees in the sky blocking the view. If you want to escape, you can use these towering trees. Extremely easy. With a plan in mind, the barefoot woman didn't hesitate. Her beautiful eyes turned slightly, and then she looked for an opportunity to escape. Don't look at it. I'm the only one here, but I'm enough to deal with you alone. The poisonous old monster seemed to realize the woman's intention to try to escape, and immediately said it. Oh, is that so? The barefooted woman in the blue dress also snorted, and her breath soared. The strength of the 6-star duty level is undoubtedly on display. With the appearance of this terrifying aura, the barefooted woman's jade hand instantly lifted, and at the same time, a green battle chi appeared out of thin air, and then directly attacked the old monster. This green fighting spirit is also strange, and it seems that there is some terrifying power mixed with it. Because when this green fighting chi training first appeared, the trees around the woman were all dying. That green battle chi training contained violent poison, and slashed at the old poisonous monster viciously. Vulnerable. Facing this barefooted woman's 6-star Do-D level attack, the poisonous old monster did not do any defense. Just when the green fighting spirit was about to attack the poison old monster, the body of the poison old monster that was covered by the black cloak also wriggled quickly. Emerge. Taking a closer look, it is astonishing that there are some extremely small bugs in the body of the poisonous old monster that flew out instantly, and then stayed in front of him, and then those small insects seemed to form a natural barrier in front of the poisonous old monster. The green fighting spirit slammed into the mysterious bug of the poisonous old monster, and a harsh sound suddenly sounded. With the sound of this harsh voice, the momentum of those tiny insects did not diminish at all, but the fighting spirit of the barefoot woman disappeared instantly. This poisonous insect doesn't seem to be simple. It can directly devour the poisonous Do-Chi of the 6-star Do Emperor level of the poison sect woman. Beneath a rock, Xiao Yang also thoughtfully said, "Obviously such a terrifying thing." Even Xiao Yang saw it for the first time, and was immediately a little surprised. These poisonous insects, raised by the poisonous old monster of the 10,000 poison sect, are truly terrifying. Mu Feng also said softly. That barefooted woman was also a 6-star Do-Di level powerhouse. Although it was a casual blow, she was broken by the old poisonous monster, which undoubtedly explained the gap between the two. This thing is a bit like the source of the plague of their Wanpa sect. The green flute on the side is also staring at the tiny bugs in front of the poison old monster. Xiao Yang and the other 5, if they want to use poison, I am afraid it is only the green flute. After all, this green flute belongs to the Medusa snake people. The poison that comes from the bones is still not acceptable. Obliterated. The source of the plague. Xiao Yang was also surprised. The source of the plague. It is said that this kind of thing was extremely rare in ancient times. The reason they are scarce is that the food is so scarce that the species cannot survive. However, the source of the plague is well known. It is said that in ancient times, a poison master used his own 9-star fighting emperor's strength to forcibly defeated the sect guarded by 2 fighting immortals. At that time, the strength of the poison master Jiuxing Dudi was not enough to mention, but he just relied on the power of the source of the plague to slaughter an entire sect. The dangerous name of the source of the plague has also spread from that time. The green flute is also a little serious. The appearance of the source of the plague made the green flute feel a little uneasy. And the most terrifying thing about this source of plague is that it is impossible to prevent. In other words, the source of the plague can't stop its progress, whether it's fighting chi defense or soul defense. Once it is entered into the body, it is also a very troublesome thing. At least I don't know how to get rid of it. The green flute also looked alert. This plague source insect is not a joke. Everyone, be careful. When Xiao Yang heard the words, his heart sank slightly, and then he increased the power of the souls surrounding the 5 people. Hey, that seems to be one more person. Xiao Yang finished all this, and was just about to set his sights on the forest trail Tilda, but suddenly, a tree not far from them suddenly appeared. Above the towering tree, a dark figure appeared slowly, and beside the dark figure, there seemed to be a comatose little girl. The poison sect woman just wanted to test the strength of this old poisonous monster, but she didn't expect this guy to directly pull out such a terrifying thing. The source of the plague. This is the best of the deadly poisons. The invincible poisonous insect. Even in the dark light of the night, the barefooted woman could slightly feel that the number of the plague source insects in front of her was extremely terrifying. Just in front of this group, the terror is no less than 1,000. Damn it. The barefooted woman also snorted coldly, and then the eyes in those beautiful eyes became deep. Obviously, the strength of this poisonous old monster, let alone horror, is at the level of the 7-star Doe Emperor, or even more powerful. Little girl, let's capture it. The poisonous old monster was also afraid that it would change after a while, so he immediately opened his mouth and wanted to fight. Giggle, do you want Joeen demon insect and fire Chadan so much? The barefooted woman also smiled strangely in the face of the coercion of the poisonous old monster. You? The poisonous old monster was also surprised, and then the next moment, something suddenly appeared. Anyone from the 10,000 poison religion? This is the periphery of our Xianling city, you should leave quickly. A rough voice also sounded. 8-star Do D. The poisonous old monster is also worthy of being an old-fashioned generation. Just from this voice, he can hear the strength of this comer. Sun Dalong of the Sun family in Xianling City. As soon as the voice fell, a large sword fell directly from the sky, and then a figure appeared. The Sun family. The poison old monster was also slightly surprised when he heard the words. Even if the base camp of their Wanpa sect is not within the Xianling royal family in the middle of Xiantian-san, but in a barren land, they have long heard of this Sun family. The Sun family, known as the of the Xianling royal family, can act as a guardian in this place where the strong are like clouds, and its strength should not be underestimated. Because if the Sun family didn't have some background, it would be impossible for them to have their current status in the Xianling royal family. Although it has been rumored that the Sun family does not have high-end combat power, and the strongest is only the master of the Sun family, the 8-star Do D consummation, but I don't know if there is some hidden power secretly. Don't mind your own business. The poisonous old monster also snorted coldly, and there was some unpleasantness in his voice. No matter how you say it here, it is also outside Xianling City. Come support. And once you are supported by the Sun family, don't mention that you will have to wear fangs at that time. I am afraid that the Luding San Huatong that you finally got will be in jeopardy. At that time, if you want to leave, it will be difficult. Hee, although this is the outskirts of Xianling City, it can be regarded as the area under the jurisdiction of our Sun family. You people from the Wanpa sect should hurry up and leave. Sun Dalong fell directly from the sky. Then, Sun Dalong's slightly clumsy figure also appeared in front of the poisonous old monster. Sun Dalong's big sword is completely black, the sword is triangular, and the edges on both sides are extremely sharp. It's strange to say, the big knife was inserted into the ground, and it seemed that some dark power penetrated into the bottom, but the poisonous old monster didn't find it. Sun Dalong, the elder of the Sun family, can be regarded as a legendary figure in the Sun family. After all, being able to join the elder seat at a young age is enough to demonstrate his great strength and talent. Sun Dalong showed solid muscles all over his body was extremely burly, his eyes were glaring at the poisonous old monster, and a faint terrifying aura also emanated from his body. It's actually from the Sun family. Both of them are in the middle stage of the 8-star Do D. Besides, old monster poison still has the source of the plague. It's only a matter of time. The fangs on the towering tree were also clearly looking at the situation on the ground, but he didn't notice that a man with a heavy ruler was slowly approaching. It's not that easy to take things from me. The barefooted woman also smiled slightly, apparently discovering the existence of Sun Dalong from the very beginning, so she didn't panic. The people of the Sun family are too stupid, right? This woman clearly wants us to fight in secret to escape. You won't be fooled by her, right? The poisonous old monster also said solemnly. This Sun Dalong's strength, just relying on perception, the poison old monster knows, his strength is absolutely on par with himself. The confrontation between the 8-star Do Emperor level powerhouses is extremely difficult to distinguish in a short period of time. Moreover, the distance from Xianling City is too close, and the poisonous old monster is also worried that the Sun family has a backer. It won't bother you anymore. After Sun Dalong finished speaking, he waved his hand, and a yellow beam of fighting qi immediately imprisoned the barefooted woman. Let go of me. The barefooted woman was also frightened by the sudden Do qi beam, and in a hurry, she was directly enveloped by the yellow beam. The yellow beam directly surrounded the barefooted woman's entire body, and then the space inside was also isolated, in order to prevent the barefooted woman from escaping suddenly. After being enveloped, the barefoot woman found herself imprisoned. However, the barefoot woman didn't panic at all, and stared directly at the two in front of her. It seems that she does have something on her. We still made the right choice. Others, from Pill Valley and Tujia, including some members of the Blood Blade mercenary group, should be like chasing another person from the poison sect. Although Sun Dalong is a burly man, his mind is meticulous. Forget any detail. Ha ha. Hearing this, the poisonous old monster also snorted coldly. He obviously didn't know why he didn't discover the aura of Sun Dalong just now. It shouldn't be. Don't be depressed. I have something hidden in my body. So with your strength in the middle stage of the 8-star Do Emperor, you still can't find me. But since there's no one else here, let's hand over that cauldron with 3 flower pupils, and I can keep you a whole corpse, ha ha ha. Sun Dalong also laughed out loud after he finished speaking. Idiot talking about a dream. Aren't you afraid of dying from eating? The poisonous old monster scolded directly. He never thought that the people of the Sun family would have such a big appetite. It won't bother you anymore. After Sun Dalong finished speaking, the big sword that was inserted into the ground was also pulled up instantly. I gave you a chance. Since you don't leave, then stay here forever. Sun Dalong shouted angrily, and then the dark sword turned blood red all over his body. I didn't expect it to be the famous blood swordsman. Seeing this, old monster poison murmured in his heart. Rumor has it that there has always been a blood knife with extremely terrifying strength in Xianling City. As the name implies, it is to inject the power of one's own blood into one's fighting qi or attack, thereby exuding even greater power. Don't look at this. Sun Dalong is only the strength of the middle stage of the 8-star Do Emperor. If the blood knife state is stimulated, both the Terror and the 8-star Do Emperor perfection level powerhouse have the power to fight. Take me a move. Sun Dalong shouted angrily, and then he waved the blood-colored sword in his hands vigorously, and slashed horizontally at the place where the poisonous old monster was. Just as the broadsword was raised, some dark forces were slowly swimming under the ground. The blood-colored sword fell to the ground, and a large pit that touched several dozen meters suddenly emerged from the ground of the poison old monster, and there was still a terrifying residual red grudge in the pit. Cough, cough. The old monster also coughed violently. Although he had escaped Sun Dalong's attack just now, what made the old monster strange was that although the strength of this Sun Dalong's attack was extremely terrifying, it was extremely slow. It stands to reason that he should be able to escape successfully, but for some unknown reason, when Sun Dalong just attacked, old monster poison felt an extremely sticky force slowing him down. Come again. Seeing this, Sun Dalong was also raising the blood-colored sword, and then his figure moved quickly, ignoring the place where the poisonous old monster was trying to attack. Damn bastard. What the asterisk is it? The poisonous old monster also scolded abruptly, obviously because of some inexplicable power. Since that Sun Dalong's big sword turned bloody, his speed has been seen through by him. No matter where he ran, he would predict it, as if his actions were seen through by Sun Dalong. This old poisonous monster is really confused. Under the rock, Green Flute's eyesight was extremely good, and he also saw some clues, and then spoke slightly. The reason why the poisonous old monster's actions were seen by Sun Dalong was because of the big sword in Sun Dalong's hand. Or rather, the dark aura that was already lurking beneath the ground, concealed by the night. This video will end here.